It is another beautiful day. Welcome to another edition of Insightful Moments. I am Jare Tiamiyu. Today we shall be discussing the matter that has continued to generate momentum, the matter that has continued to gather actions, reactions, and counter-reactions from different stakeholders. And we are talking about reopening of schools during this coronavirus pandemic. We know what is happening, the WASSCE examination, and some other things that have to do with education during this period. And we shall be discussing with the special advisor to Governor Gboyega Oyetola on education, Mr Jamiu Olawumi. He will be telling us what the state government is doing in Osun State. What are they doing to ensure that schools reopen as soon as possible? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Abokede Adironkefumi, General Manager, Osun Agency for Community and Social Development Projects. I want to say that you should keep watching Insights Link TV. It's a development-focused communication media.
Yeah, welcome back from that very short break. As I said earlier, my guest today is the special advisor to the governor of the state of Osun on education, Mr. Jamiu Olawumi. Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us on this show today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Viewers, it's good to be here.
Sir, we would like to talk about the education in the state, and then, it has been impacted negatively by this coronavirus pandemic. The schools are closed for almost 4 months now, and then only God knows when the schools will be opened. But recently, there has been crisis from the federal government, from the Minister of State and the Minister of Education, giving us different directives. Sir, where do you belong to? Are you actually aligned with the people that are saying that we can go ahead and reopen the schools?
You are asking about 2 or 3 questions like that, and it's important to make clarifications at this point at this juncture before we move ahead. There was no crisis between the Minister of State and the Minister of Education. Last week, Tuesday, we were in a meeting with the Minister of Education and Minister of State for Education, all commissioners for education across Nigeria, stakeholders, ANCOPS, NUT, members from the PTF, Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, who had that webinar to discuss and come up with protocols that will be observed before and during the time the school will have the partial unlock that we're talking about for students in the exit classes to be able to write the exams. In fact, the opening remark of that meeting was made by the Minister of State for Education, and the closing remark was made by the Minister himself. Madam. So all of us were there. So there was no contradiction, there was no misunderstanding. What the meeting chose to achieve was to make a representation and form the protocols that will be presented the next day at the Federal Executive Council meeting.
Okay.
So there was no instruction that day or declarative statement that the school will open at a particular date.
But excuse
me. I was at the meeting. Excuse me.
Okay.
We resolved on issues and agreed that if this protocol list is observed, we can go ahead to record to write WASSCE. So it was conditional. And it was subject to the approval of the Federal Executive Council meeting or the President and Commander-in-Chief himself.
Okay.
Let me give you constitutional backing for that. When there is war in the country, according to the 1999 Constitution as amended, and the state of emergency is declared, the President has 2 years extension without election, can be there for another 2 years. If there's war.
Okay.
If there's pandemic like this, It's also an emergency situation. So the power to open and to lock and unlock endeavors is absolutely that of the president. So whatever we might have done at that meeting is subject to the approval of the president. So some cynics are saying there was a misrepresentation, disagreement between the two ministers. Not at all. And Minister of State is not a junior minister, they are both ministers of the Federal Republic.
Okay, sir. From that point, some people are saying that education is not on the exclusive list, that the federal government can take the control of just overall. What can you say to that?
When the federal government unlocked and imposed curfew, didn't we comply? Listen.
Okay.
Education is on concurrent lists. But when there is war, the federal government takes over.
But some states have gone ahead to reopen, and then we have Ekiti State saying that they are reopening their schools next week.
When are they reopening?
They said next week Monday.
They have not reopened.
But Oyo State has reopened.
Yes.
So can we say that if it is not on the exclusive, is not on the concurrent list, the federal government has said schools should not reopen, but they can stay. Oyo State said this thing is on the concurrent list. We can reopen the school, and they have gone ahead.
Oyo State people,
yes,
who are watching your question will just be laughing at you.
Okay,
I'll tell you why. When we locked down here in Osun, Oyo State did not lock down.
Yes.
But you can now see the profile of these two states when it comes to level of infection that the two states has. You can be obstinate. You can controvert and violate the order. But I want you to go to your state and do a popularity test, whether the government there is popular with the reopening of schools. That is one. Number two, if the federal government is not sanctioning Oyo State for doing it, if you recall in not too recent past, if somebody were to do that under Obasanjo, the place would be under state of emergency. That attests to the democratic nature of All Progressive Congress government, that even errant people, you could look at them and let them face the consequences. The consequence of which Oyo is facing now. You cannot go to Oyo State and sleep and close your two eyes, like you move about in Osun.
Okay.
So let that be interpreted by viewers. Which of the two states, whether Oyo or Osun, is doing well, and which one is not doing well?
But some people will still argue that we have some states like Edo, like Kwara, that had this lockdown, and then they also have these hundreds of numbers.
When did they start the lockdown?
Edo State started earlier,
Nobody started before Osun, after the federal government.
Yes.
So leave that for people to compare.
Okay, it means let's now go to the real thing now. The schools are presently closed. Sir,
in Osun State.
In Osun State, they are closed. Sir, what measures are you putting in place? We heard that recently the state government house was disinfected, the state house of assembly was disinfected. Are you disinfecting the schools?
Of course, the list already with the commissioner for the Ministry of Environment.
Okay.
And we are to give them the go ahead when we complete all the protocols to reopen. Let me inform you that the federal government has released the guidelines for schools and learning facilities to reopen. And you now find states of the federation reopening at different stages.
Okay.
If you are able to comply and implement the protocols, nothing stops you from reopening. It's a matter of just writing the Federal Ministry of Education to create awareness and information that we have reopened. We are also setting up our committees here to look at and form the protocol for COVID-19. And very soon, this week, we are going to be meeting with stakeholders. Ministry of Education will meet with SUBEB, ANCOPS, NAPS, ABS, and AMIS. All these are stakeholders, groups within the education family. We will look at the protocols and we ask them to go and implement so that we can reopen. It is not cast in stone or iron that the federal government has locked permanently.
Okay.
So what the federal government has done is to set up the protocol list and activate and reopen your schools.
Sir.
So if Ekiti is doing it, if Ekiti has complied with the conditions and the protocol list, Ekiti is also free to reopen.
So
But I don't think we should misrepresent the power of the federal government.
But when do you now be looking towards, like, can you give us, like, if not the specific date, like the range, like maybe a week or 2 weeks, when should we be looking towards that schools should reopen?
It's a matter of looking at the COVID-19 protocols vis-a-vis the capacity of stakeholders.
Okay.
You can't expect schools in Osogbo to reopen, and you have schools in the hinterland or in the rural areas also reopen immediately. It could be staggered.
Okay.
If Osogbo reopens Monday, perhaps those in rural areas will be able to reopen Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
So you can see differentials of 48 hours, 28 hours, and so at the meeting we will also look at the capacity. We encourage the Ministry of Environment to start to disinfect schools and fumigate schools, and as they go along, we follow them to reopen schools.
Okay, we'll go on a very short break now, but when we come back, we will talk more about the issue of WAEC. Some people are saying that if schools do not reopen by August 4th, that WAEC are saying they want to conduct their exams. It means some students, means the majority of the students are going to miss that exam. We'll talk more in that when I will come back from this very short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
My names are Honorable Zamot Ali Adibayo, Honorable representing Osun State constituency in the state of Osun House of Assembly. Keep watching Inside TV.
All right, yeah, I come back from that very short break. My guest once more is the special advisor to Governor Gboyega Oyetola on education, Mr. Jamiu Olawumi. Mr. Olawumi, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Sir, let's talk about the crisis that this WAEC has actually generated. You know, some people are saying that WAEC is saying that they are starting their exam on August 4th. And if schools are not ready in Nigeria, if it's just a state that is ready, they are going to go ahead with their exams. It means students in Nigeria are going to miss out the exam this year. What negotiation is ongoing to affect that?
Don't forget that what we have in our hands is a global village. Whatever happens in Nigeria has implication on other parts of the world. If Nigerians are just too in a hurry, what happens to Kenya that will not open until 2021 January?
Okay.
Will they not be part of the global activities? WAEC is just like a bukateria that opens for people who want to eat and take refreshment. You can decide to open for business on a Thursday in Osun, when there will be sanitation exercise between 8 and 10. You can decide to open at 8 o'clock, but people will not come and eat. Why could not dictate to us? The WAEC that said we will write exam, the May-June exam. Don't forget that WAEC has 3 periods now writing exams. WAEC stages exam May-June. That May-June exam starts around March ending. That's for internal students. It stages another one in November, December for internal students, and another November, December for external students. So what is the burden? If you are not writing this May, June now, you write November, December.
What's that?
Listen.
Okay.
A sovereign country like Nigeria, even Ghana, that is the West African headquarters of WAEC, has not indicated they are going to write the exam. Because Ghana opened 2 weeks ago and has closed down. WAEC is not government. WAEC is a service provider. So they cannot dictate how to manage emergency period. Some people have told us the students, the candidates now writing WAEC, they will be treated like doctors. Don't forget 39 doctors were infected in Kwara yesterday, even with their kits. There is also a burden that government must dispose. What are the functions of government? The primary functions of government are two: security and welfare.
Okay.
Security during pandemic like this, welfare during pandemic like this. If the government will see that it's failing the two responsibilities, why could stay aside? The Bible will say the living is the owner of the other side of the farm. If you are not alive, let me give you this pathetic example that has come around with us. A family of 8. A boy went to school, contacted COVID, came back, and infected the other 7. And if it's all about WAHEC, will the infected be able to write WAHEC?
But sir, the question we are asking is actually what we heard from the people on the streets.
Let me tell you
let me button.
Okay, excuse me.
Okay.
The body we have is understandable. The pressure is understandable. We have a lot of service providers in the education sector, and their economy, their pulse, could not shoulder further the consequence of the lockdown. Somebody has argued, if COVID is going to be here for 50 years, won't you open schools? But each day, as day passes by, we are developing strategy that will solve the problem. Nobody is telling you that COVID will be eradicated and the land cleansed before they open school.
Okay.
But if you look, you are coming here, you see a lot of people on the streets. How many out of 10 were wearing their nose mask? These are parents and guardians who are going to instruct their children to observe the protocol when they get to school. They are not complying. It means what you'll be getting from their different homes are boys and girls who will not observe the protocols. Government has a responsibility to protect lives and property. And that's why we are engaging the stakeholders. There will be engagement. Even when we unlock, we continue to engage all of them.
Sir, at that point, I would like to bring forth, there's an argument that people are bringing forth now, and it has to do with the students that wrote WAHEC last year. They are less than 1.7 million. But in Edo and Ondo State, where we are going to be having elections this year, we have over 4 million voters. If federal government can say 4 million voters should go ahead, election campaign should go ahead.
Elections for students.
But these are also people that you can even not. There is a limitation to how we can control them.
Don't compare election with education.
Some people are saying we are prioritizing election over education.
You better listen.
Okay,
you better listen. If you don't have government, right, that we don't have government in place, and there is COVID, what do you think? What do you suggest would have happened?
You said something at the beginning of this interview.
Listen. You cannot do away with governance. Governance is priority number 1. If you look at if you recall what you are taught as the origin of democracy.
Okay.
If you look at the Greek community where democracy started, it was a contest to restore sanity. So if there's no government in Edo, because there's COVID, who manages COVID?
But at the beginning of this interview, you said president can extend by 2 years if there is emergency as we have now.
Yes.
But is that not extended to
the Constitution does not allow for it.
For the governors?
Yes. Otherwise, what you have in Edo will be a state of emergency.
We are already in a state of emergency.
Wait. What you are suggesting is that government should declare a state of emergency in Edo and Ondo State because of COVID.
That is not my suggestion. It's what people are saying on the street.
What people are saying on the street. That I'm not talking to you as a person.
Okay.
The viewer is understanding that I'm saying you viewing this program.
Okay.
If government were to appoint a caretaker government in Edo State and Ondo State,
okay,
you understand? It has no place in the constitution. The election, 2 countries have held election during this COVID pandemic across the world.
Okay.
What was the protocol? We are now, our aviation sector is working now. What are the protocols? Let me tell you the folly in what people are saying, comparing the two. If you are lining up to cast your ballot, no serious person will want to share and feel the texture of nose mask of a person that looks more beautiful than his own.
But we saw what happened when Governor Gboyega Oyetola was submitting his nomination form at the party secretariat.
You didn't allow me to talk.
There was no.
You are not allowing me to talk.
No, I'm just playing that.
You are jumping.
Okay, let's continue.
You are jumping. You are jumping at
Continue,
it.
sir.
I'm drawing an analogy, and you are jumping at Obaseki.
Okay, let's continue.
A small boy or a girl who comes from perhaps my child or a colleague's child uses a nose mask that is branded Osun State Government. Your child does not wear it to school. You can't limit young boys and girls to have a feel of it. It's practicable. An adult will not do it. You won't say, "Oga, let me test with your nose mask because it's beautiful." You won't pick anyone similar to yours on the ground thinking that it's yours and use it. We have reports all out there. Pupils will go to school, their uniform will get mixed up. You will come home with another boy's uniform. They will exchange water bottle. They will drink from their own bottle, from different people's water bottle. Would that happen during the election? How do you now try to compare election with adults of no younger than 18-year-old people with toddlers? And you are saying that because they want to do election in Edo State, would they share water bottle there? Would they sit together on the same chair? Would they touch the same hard objects when they are in the school?
What about political campaigns? We know how it goes in Nigeria.
Politics is for politicians. Leave it to them. Are you a politician?
No, as in the campaigns that will lead to the election.
We leave the campaign to politicians.
Okay. Sir, before we run out, I would like you to, there is something that people are saying.
Nobody forces anybody to campaign. You come on your own. Schools, you force your child to go to school. You think children want to go to school?
But we are talking about people that want to write WAEC now. Most of them may want to go to school. But I would like us to leave that and talk about what some people are putting forward. That is there any way that the government is looking towards a kind of palliative for private schools, most especially the teachers of private schools that have been jobless for about 4 months now, and then we don't know when they will resume to schools.
Already we are contacting, we are speaking with the Bank of Industry.
Okay.
Because there's a window with the Central Bank of Nigeria treating private school owners as entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So whether the government wants to give palliative or not, we have been giving out palliatives in Osun, in Osun State. And the private school owners, teachers are part of the community. So we have given out foods to communities, to sectors, to groups, to pressure groups, to religious organizations. And as the government received from the palliative committee of 21 eminent people in the state, we're going to push out those foods to the people. But when it comes to Naira and Kobo, we are mentoring them to access those from Bank of Industry.
Okay, sir. Let's now talk about the recent announcements about the policies in education, the middle schools, and some others. Sir, Is it starting with this resumption, or will postpone it to?
The white paper on it will be out very soon, and to start by next academic session, not next term. What we are talking about is not next term, because we're about completing the second term when the lockdown started. So when we come back, we finish our third term, then we approach the next academic session. So it won't be immediate. It won't be immediate. But we are set. As soon as the white paper is released by the government, we are good to go.
Okay. Finally, you were saying something about the state of Osun and Osun State.
I'm saying Osun State. You are saying state of Osun.
Yes. Will you please clarify?
I'm in government. You are not in government.
Yes, that is why we would like to hear from you the clarification, because it is people in the government that have been correcting us in the past that it is state of Osun and not Osun State. We would like to hear if there is any development on that.
There's no development.
Okay.
What I know, and the correspondences I've read through that occurred in the last 9 years in Osun, any letters we are sending outside the states carried Osun State.
Okay, up to now.
Till now. I don't know where we have written World Bank from Osun State in the last 10 years, and we wrote State of Osun.
Okay.
And I know that international best practices compels me to say the truth.
Okay.
My governor, when he gets to Abuja, they call him Governor Osun State. They don't call him Governor State of Osun. And all these things, we have about 2 court judgments now that said there's nothing like State of Osun.
Sir,
which I think we have not appealed.
Okay. So are your letterhead carrying State of Osun or Osun State? Or the letterhead?
This is Ministry of Education.
Yes.
Oshogbo, Osun State.
Okay. All right. I think that is a very good one to hear. And then the very good point to actually wrap up this conversation with the Honorable Special Advisor to the Governor of Osun State on Education, Mr. Jamiu Olawumi. Thank you for being part of the show, sir. And we hope that whenever we have any other questions to ask, as far as this education is concerned, we're very much ready and then to come here. And we believe that you welcome us as you have just done today.
It's a pleasure. The Ministry of Education of Osun State is media friendly, because we know that you are the veritable vehicle that to let people know what we are doing. So I know we are doing very well. That I can say, I can beat my chest, that fortunes of education in Osun State has changed tremendously under Gboyega Oyetola as governor. Thank you very much.
I'm inspired by what Inside Links Media, what they are doing. They are doing a very, very good job, and I want you to keep listening to them. Thank you.
That was a very wonderful session with Mr. Jamiu Olawumi, the Special Advisor to Governor Gboyega Oyetola on Education. He said a lot of things, and I would like to say something. I would like to re-emphasize here that what we have is Osun State and not the state of Osun, according to him. And he said they are working towards a reopening of schools as soon as possible, that disinfection of schools, the classrooms, will commence in earliest. That is how far we can go on today's show. Thank you for being part of it. Before I sign out today, I want to say a very special shout out to Olowo of Kuta Oba Ahmed Adekunle Makama Tegbosun III, that is celebrating his birthday on Tuesday, July 14th, 2020. Kabiyesi will celebrate you today and every other day. And to one of our crew members, Hope Rollins, that is also celebrating her birthday on July 15th, 2020. Oh, you know, we always celebrate you at Insight Media. Thank you for working with us. And also to some of our friends, Zeno from Ede, I celebrate you, my brother, and Sakira Odegumi. I celebrate all of you. Till some other time when I come your way, please stay tuned and ensure you stay safe. Bye for now.